Good evening. I apologize that my schedule does not permit me to be there in person, but let me take this moment and thank you once again for the award you gave me in 2007 for my work on the Mental Health Parity Bill. It was a great honor for me to have been privileged enough to carry what I consider one of the greatest civil rights bills of our time, the bill that would require that we treat people, everybody, equally, no matter where their illness occurs. And certainly the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation once again always highlights that the brain is part of the body. And the only way for us to truly treat one another with dignity and respect is to make sure that we understand the way the brain works in its many ways, and that we give people the dignity and care that they deserve, just as we would if they were suffering from any other illness. And so for the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation, let me once again not only thank you for your acknowledgement of my work, but also to thank you for your good work, and for also, most importantly, recognizing the outstanding researchers in the field. A couple years ago, my father was given an extra year of life because of a neuroscientist, a neurosurgeon by the name of Alan Friedman. To me, he's my hero. And also my heroes are everybody who is in the field of discovering neuroscience, discovering how the brain works, and helping to bring more enlightenment to all of us by making sure we take away the stigma that is shrouding mental illness, because very little is known about it. So everyone who's in the field of research, you're winning it on two levels. Not only are you helping us with discoveries that are going to help bring relief to those who are suffering from any number of neurological disorders, but you're also helping to bring enlightenment and thereby end stigma, for which so much of these illnesses are continued to be marginalized in our healthcare system and in our society because of so little being known about them. So research does two things. It not only brings discoveries, it brings the kind of awareness that can eradicate stigma, which is so persistent and which faces all those who face these neurological diseases whenever they face it, whether it's a child with autism or a parent with Alzheimer's, or someone with like myself with addiction and depression, or those most importantly now in our society like our veterans who are suffering all of the related neurological disorders, from the very cognitive deficits that come from traumatic brain injury to the emotional and psychological wounds that come from trauma of war, post-traumatic stress disorder. And so for all of it you do at the Brain and Behavior Research Foundation, let me say that what you're doing today is so important for our country, not only for all families, but also for our American heroes, our men and women who are returning from war. And for them, let me say to all of our researchers, you are our first responders. You're the ones who are running in to the darkness to give light to these disorders and bring relief and a way out from being held hostage by the signature wound of the war, traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder. So for all of you, thank you for what you do. Let me invite you to join me in a new area of mental health parity, the work that I'm working on now to bring greater emphasis on the research that is needed to bring good therapies and cures to people with neurological disorders. And that is my new campaign, if you will, Political Science of Neuroscience, the campaign to put together all of those who are afflicted by a brain-based disorder behind the one mind for research. In other words, one mind for research, all of us understanding that we have more in common by understanding the brain than we do that divides us by our various neurological disorders. So thank you, Brain and Behavior Research Foundation, for your good work. I look forward to continuing to work with you on the One Mind for Research, and I hope that your continued success brings not only discoveries, but also a reduction in the stigma that faces every family who suffers from one of these brain-based disorders. Thank you once again. Keep up the great work. Benita, thank you for your fantastic work as CEO, and I look forward to continuing to work together. All the best and have a good evening.